Is there life out there? It's a question more and more have been asking in the recent years. And here to tell us more about this and answer this query possibly is Greg Andersen, the Iowa State Mutual UFO Network Director. He joins us via Zoom. Greg, how are you, man?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here. We sought you out on the internet, and I'm amped up for this interview, my friend. So, hey, let's talk about what the Mutual UFO Network is, first of all.
Well, first of all, it's also known as MUFON, and we're a scientific investigative organization that is looking to use the scientific method to resolve the UFO issue for the benefit of humanity. And one of the, and to answer that ancient question, are we alone in the universe?
Yeah. And so you guys take on UFO reports and you investigate them. And how does that process work exactly?
Well, it starts by how to report a UFO. Is what you do is you go to the MUFON.com website, click on the red Report a UFO button, and then fill out a questionnaire. It's that easy. And then the MUFON assigns a category to a Valet scale to the case. It could be an AN, an FB, an MA, or a CE. An AN is anomaly. You got flybys, maneuvers, and close encounters. And your audience probably has heard of close encounters of their kind. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a close encounter that involves occupants. So that's one of the categories that it's assigned. Then the state will assign an investigator, and then that investigator will contact the witness either by phone or email or to set up an interview. We like to have on-site interviews if possible, if the case deems that. But we can also do things by phone and email. And one of the things that they'll ask on the questionnaire, they'll ask you for the elevation, the azimuth, and other things like that. Well, the witnesses are get this fairly wrong quite a bit of the time. So what we'll do is we'll send out a scale that they can look at and then view, and then send back the results on what the actual elevation and azimuth were. And then if we do an on-site investigation, we'll go and we'll interview the witness on site, have them go through what they saw. We'll take readings of electromagnetic readings, Geiger counter type readings, depending on the type of case, and also samples if we have to do soil samples or any other type of sample. MUFON's got their own lab where the samples can be investigated and analyzed and then sent back. They're sophisticated enough that they can even do DNA analysis.
Wow. So what do you do with those reports? Do you keep them on file for further research, and et cetera? How does that work?
Yeah, we keep the cases in what's called the case management system. Okay. And that's a large database that has over 132,000 sightings in it at this time.
Wow.
And then what? But the first thing we do is once we finish the report, the investigator finishes the report, is to notify the witness of the findings. Now, the findings might be it's an unknown. Mm-hmm. It's an IFO, an identified flying object. It might be that it's insufficient evidence where there's just not enough to make any determination. Information only could be historical or a third-party type thing. Sure. And we get hoaxes. Of course, then that's all ends up in the CMS database. And then the researchers can go in and correlate to other cases and analyze the data and try to come up with trends for a better understanding of what the phenomena is, so we can try to answer that question of whether or not we're alone.
And Iowa's had some pretty high-profile UFO sightings. Do you want to give us some highlights of what you've seen?
Well, Just some past history with Iowa. Back in 1897, there was the Texas airship crash. Now, some of your viewers are probably aware of this. It's where a airship crashed into a windmill and burned in Aurora, Texas. There was supposedly a non-human occupant in it, and that occupant then was buried in Aurora. But the thing about this was in 1897, that wasn't unique. That in Iowa, we had cities like Underwood, Sioux City, Newton, Burlington. All these cities across Iowa, the airships were spotted in that summer of 1897. And even, I mean, there were large urban areas that also, like Chicago, Omaha, and Milwaukee, where it was spotted. And it was.
Wow.
It had a bright light. It was night flying. It had wings, and it flew for long distances. And this was, you got to remember, this was like several years before the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk.
Right. That's wild. So before I let you go, I have to kind of wrap this up, but I'm going to have you back on soon because I want to talk to you more about this. But what do you think about the latest congressional hearings? Do you think the government's going to kind of come clean and have a full disclosure on a lot of this?
Well, I don't think, to me, the UFO hearings, there was nothing new to me, but I've been in the business for quite a while.
Sure.
But it was new to the public.
Yeah.
And it got in the congressional record, so that was an important thing that happened.
Yeah.
And what surprised me too was it was a non-partisanship type of hearing. And it's getting the ball rolling. And they didn't stop there. The House has also tried just trying to get a select committee with subpoena power.
Yeah.
That they can do.
Yeah.
And then the Senate soon, and ARROW, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, headed up by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, has the complete opposite viewpoint of the hearing and stuff, and we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Yeah. Well, Greg, I tell you what, I'm going to have you back on soon so we can talk more about it because we're out of time today. But thank you so much for being here. We're going to definitely chat with you more. So thank you so much, Greg.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. For more information, you can check out MoveOn.com. We'll have all those details posted at ourquadcities.com. More Living Local continues after the break. Stay with us.